So people have been asking me a lot ever since Blue Protocol's recent live stream. Hey STIX, when are you going to condense all of the information into an easily digestible video? And admittedly, there was a lot of information to go over, and I feel like given Blue Protocol is going to appear at the Game Awards on the 8th to 9th of December 2022, I should hold out and do an all-encompassing everything you need to know about Blue Protocol going into 2023 video. But that isn't to say I'm not going to condense what we got from the last live stream in this video, but more than that, I'm going to take bits of information from the Blue Protocol DB website, which I will include a link to this article in specific down in the description below for those of you that don't want to listen to me talk or give my thoughts on it and would rather just read through it yourself, and then include bits of information about the game that we already know. Before we jump into this video though, I do want to thank all of our incredible patrons over on Patreon. You guys do not need to support MRSSSTIX and I, but you still choose to, and trust me, it is appreciated beyond anything I can convey verbally. You guys are incredible, and admittedly, if you have a moment, follow MRSSSTIX and I over on Twitter. We'd really appreciate that. So, as you guys are aware, or you might not be aware, on November 15th, the Blue Protocol team held a live stream where they showcased a lot of information. Players were concerned, and the concern was definitely warranted, that they had forgotten about the game because of their lack of communication with players via social media. And the devs specifically went on to state in response to that, they humbly apologized for making players worried that the team was slow with their communication. Going forward, the developers introduced a brand new trailer providing exclusive footage of new gameplay and beautiful cinematic display. The trailer in specific, we'll go ahead and, you know what, I haven't actually watched the trailer for it yet. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I have not seen the trailer. People have repeatedly told me I need to watch it, but I've been reluctant to because I want to do a dedicated video featuring my updated reactions to it, you know? So I feel like some of the footage already is I like that they're using a lot of characters that are showcasing various different character creation options, and they're showing each of the NPCs that are going to be a major part of our story. And seeing the gameplay for this game, every time we see it, it just makes me so excited to play it. This is such high quality anime or combat for an anime MMO. Like incomparable to any other anime MMO out there. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Holy crap. This is looking even better than I remember. Dude, him, Sylvain, I think his name is, reminds me of the main character from Tales of Arise. Tell me I'm not the only one that sees this. Man. Dude, what a trailer. Holy crap. Blue Protocol will officially be open for service and released in early spring 2023 within Japan. Of course, the developers wanted to stress that this is if everything goes smoothly, depending on the results of the upcoming network tests. So they are holding a beta test for Blue Protocol with the expectation of releasing Blue Protocol in spring 2023, which is literally right around the corner. So they went over a year without saying anything and then immediately tell us, hey guys, the game is almost complete. And you know what? I am okay with it. I'm glad that they have progressed so far through the game. I just wish they would have communicated it to us. The network test for Blue Protocol will be conducted on January 14, 2023 at 2 p.m. JST until January 16th at 2 p.m. JST. During the test, the server will always be open, but we plan to conduct scheduled maintenance to increase the server capacity. Additionally, the network test will have a maximum participant capacity of 50,000 players. If the amount of applicants will exceed over 50,000 players, which it is going, there's no way this game only has 50,000 interested players in this test phase. Then the accounts will be selected by a lottery. Registrations close on December 13th. If you have not, make sure to pre-register for a Bandai Namco account right now. I have a link on how to pre-register down in the comment section, down in the description below. Make sure to follow that and get this done. They showcase the specs for low graphics, high graphics, and max graphics. Honestly, they're not at all strong. This is actually a lot more fair than I had anticipated it being, but they also kind of resemble the settings, I think, that were the system requirements from the beta test. After a short intermission, the developers wanted to apologize once again for the delay in communication with their players. They mentioned with having to constantly polish the game, conducting internal testing, and gathering feedback from the internal developers became a lengthy process that sometimes had technical difficulties, but we're finally here now. And that is more than fine. You know, no problem. Going forward, the developers were concerned about what the players thought about the gameplay of each class. Next, we'll show you updated class videos demonstrating some of the changes to core mechanics and gameplay. So first is the Aegis Fighter, which is the class that uses sword and shield.
カウンターをするクラスっていうのは変わりがありません。で、ちょっと大きく変わったのがカウンターがですね、CBT の時は結構なんだろう、
I think this is taking in the
カウンター待機状態になってカウンターをだったんですけども、この仕様変更しまして、縦でガードした後にのすっ飛び中に攻撃をすることでカウンターをする。
Honestly though, this seems like your cookie cutter sword and shield tank. Nothing too fancy, nothing too flashy.
今ちょっと出しましたけども、エニミーステップジャンプっていうシステムを新たに用意してまして、ジャンプ中に
Well, okay, you know what? The special effects that are attached to your sword swings actually looks pretty good. And the fluidity of the movement of your character looks great. I'm not gonna go into specifically what was added, what was altered for each class. If you guys are interested in that, you can just pause the video here, read through it on your own. Absolutely no problem. I got to see all of the classes firsthand when I was playing through them during the beta test, but it's nice to know that there have been sufficient alterations made to make them feel better than the Twin Striker, which is the dual-wielding axe class. I know a lot of people played during the beta. I feel like the Twin Striker was probably the most common class that I saw out in the world.
CBT の時はコンボゲージが敵の攻撃を食らうとゼロになっちゃうっていう仕様で。だからドレインとかがあるにもかかわらずちょっと攻撃を食らっちゃうとゼロになっちゃうから結局避けなきゃいけないっていうちょっとなんかちぐはぐな感じになっていたので、敵の攻撃を食らったら、ゼロになるっていう、仕様をやめました。でバトルが終わってしばらく経つと、ゼロになるっていうそのバトル中の、コンボっていう感じの、コンボゲージの仕様になっています。で今ちょっとバフ使ってるんですけども、新しいバフ使ってるんですけども、あのバフが、コンボゲージを消費して、タクティカルスキルの攻撃を高める。
Honestly, the class itself looks really good. It does. It looks pretty good. I feel like I'm more a fan of, I don't know, dual sword wielders than dual axe wielders though. Next we have the Blast Archer. This is a class that I actually played during the beta test, and admittedly, that is a much larger AoE than I had, and this ability looks a lot better than it looked when I used it, but I will note that I did not have that much fun on the Archer. But that could also be because I just do not enjoy Archer as a class. I actually loathe them. They're typically very boring to play. But as you can tell, it looks and feels a lot like an Archer. You have two different combat options. You can either choose to lock onto your target, or you can have the free aim, where you use your reticle to aim. So either combat style, whichever suits you. Then we have the Spellcaster. This is where I think the game really shines. I think the Spellcaster has by far the best combat of any class in the game thus far. Well, maybe with the exception of the Heavy Smasher. Seeing your character call down massive meteors, massive like glacial icicles from the sky, entire tundra, like all the different elements that you wield, the special effects for them, for your elemental spells is just incredible. This is a game that I can 100%, not a game, a class I can 100% get behind and definitely enjoy. What was that standstill with his hand covering his face? And then we have the Heavy Smasher. This class was not available during the beta test, but was actually introduced about a year after it, half a year after it. And is one of a multitude of different classes that are going to be introduced in the game over a period of time. Maybe at launch, maybe a few months after launch, maybe a year after launch. They have a list of classes that they're interested in implementing. This is just one of those classes. Honestly, being able to use this as a close range melee and then as a long range like projectile class as well is kind of cool. I think that's kind of unique. It's like a gun blade, but instead of a gun and a blade, it's like a, I don't know, a rocket launcher and a hammer. Then they went on to confirm the global release for the game. The Game Awards will have a segment introducing Blue Protocol for overseas fans who have been supporting the game for these past years. Me, you. Bandai Namco will be announcing details regarding Blue Protocol's global interest at the Game Awards on December 8th, 2022. Please keep your eyes peeled for more information regarding the time slot. Just FYI, MRSSSTIX and I, when we confirm the time that this is going to be live, we will be streaming this over on Twitch. We do not want to miss out, and we encourage you to come and join us. An additional hint was also provided by the developers about a possible Korean announcement, which was coming soon as well. Perhaps we've heard echoes of this somewhere. And to elaborate on that, the publisher for Blue Protocol within South Korea is going to be Smilegate. Smilegate are the people behind Lost Ark. Make of that what you will. They then went on to note that there are going to be additional character creation parts. There are various different screenshots that are shown on their website. Hairstyles, eye options, nose options. I played the beta, and admittedly, for an anime MMO, there were a lot of options, but at the same time, I know that with regards to skin tone, facial hair options, brow options, like there were still some severe limitations when you compare it to games like Black Desert Online, maybe Blade and Soul. There are going to be more costumes implemented into the game. You're apparently going to be capable of changing your underwear. That's apparently a thing that they think is necessary in their game. They have made alterations to how you go about increasing your adventure rank, alterations to the camera, changes to how enemy levels are displayed. They're expanding the skill system, because how the game functions is you have like a skill tree, and as you level, you put into which skills you want to use, and those are the skills that get leveled up. But I guess players thought that they were very restrictive, so they're expanding on that. They're looking into creating a variety in battle content where different battles may require you to do different things based on enemy patterns, but as they create them, it's not a surefire thing that'll be receptive amongst the players, so they're doing the best they can. So in short, people are like, the combat can be a little boring, a little repetitive. And they said, well, we might be able to make alterations to allow for more engaging combat. It looks like they are making alterations to how the dungeons work. Speedrunning is a big issue. Speedrunning is also a big issue in the majority of games. The last time I played WoW, like, man, people power through, they have like perfected routes to take to avoid even having to encounter one additional monster. There have been alterations made to character movement, dodging, allowing you to set equipment presets for each class, since you're capable of alternating between which class you are at pretty much any point in the game, kind of like Final Fantasy XIV, I guess. And this right here is a very large alteration made during the beta. When you would mount, you would be presented with a very irritating stamina gauge for your mount. And as you continue to use your mount, the stamina gauge would deplete until it ran out, and then you could no longer use your mount. They have altered it so that is no longer the case, and you can use your mount indefinitely, but there is a stamina gauge when sprinting. It's a lot better. The ability to change some UI options like the mini map, the large map, crafting recipe page, see more quests on your screen. So a lot of alterations to the UI, and seriously, there are just so many alterations that have been made to the game. I strongly urge you to, if you're curious about every little feature that has been adjusted, check the article that leads to the Blue Protocol DB website out. Or alternatively, just wait until sometime later this month when I have a much larger, probably very long video dedicated specifically to Blue Protocol coming out. And I noticed that they also have a season pass that they're going to implement into the game. This was not there during the beta test and never hinted at this, but they do go on to state that they wish to remain a fully, truly free-to-play MMO, but they do want to have a season pass present. So I guess we're going to find out how true that remains, and that is it. This is, I think, ended up being like a 20-minute video, and this is like the heavily condensed version of the video that I was going to do and that I will be doing later this month, or later next month, since I think it's still November right now. Man, I need to better keep track of the time and the date. Now, if Blue Protocol isn't your thing, I really have to question your sanity at this point, but no problem. I got 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of interest to you. One featuring an MMO that MRSSSTIX actually had a lot of fun in, very old school. You might be interested in checking out. The other, a list of every MMO that came out this month in the month of November 2022. Man, I need, yeah, check them out.